Dove season opens up September 1st here in Missouri, and I cannot wait to start grilling up some dove poppers. There's nothing quite like going out there with your buddies and limiting out on doves. It's a very social type of hunting, which also makes it a great way to introduce somebody to the outdoors. It's not like taking somebody deer hunting for the first time. You're sitting out there freezing your butt off just hoping something walks by for this newbie hunter. Doves are a pretty target-rich type of hunting if you're set up in the right spot and in the right way. So before we start talking about stuffing ourselves full of dove poppers, we need to go over 4 beginner dove hunting mistakes. Avoid these and you will have your tailgate lined with these pretty doves. But before we go over these mistakes, like usual, if this is your first time on my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you click that bell icon so you can be notified every time I upload a video. And the first rookie dove hunting mistake is you didn't scout out the area before you went hunting. I know the temptation to skip the scouting for doves. You see doves all the time when you're driving around in town, and you think you're just going to go up to some public ground or private ground. Maybe you've got a spot set up for doves. It's got some sunflowers or corn, and you're just going to limit out. Now, you might get lucky sometimes, but you can very easily be set up on the right field, but in the wrong spot. The other day, I went and scouted out some new public ground, and they had a field that was planted in both sunflowers and soybeans, and it had 2 power lines, one running parallel to the road and one cutting across the field. Now, you might think at first glance you could sit anywhere along those power lines and you'd have a good shot, except that's not how it worked out. For the entire hour that I sat there and watched, all the doves seemed to be perched in one corner and would fly to an opposite field that was planted in corn. So if you didn't scout out the area before, you would sit at one spot, and if you're on the opposite end of that power line, you'd be sitting there pissed off every time somebody at the other end took a shot. Another reason to scout out beforehand is if you're going on public ground, each area tends to have its own little special rules. At the parking spot that I was at last weekend, it had a sign posted with the special regulations for this particular area. And you need to make sure you're following those rules, not only so you can avoid a ticket, but so you and everybody else that's hunting there can be safe. And the second rookie dove hunting mistake is you fail to follow that bird till it hits the ground. This mistake usually happens with newbie hunters and those who get a little too excited when multiple doves come flying in. I know getting a double or triple is awesome, it's very exciting, but when you shoot at a dove and you hit it, you need to make sure that you are following it all the way to the ground, and then pick out some kind of feature that you can orient yourself to when you go to retrieve it. That could be a stick, it could be a clump of dirt or something that you can pick out and walk toward. Don't get greedy and unload on a group of doves flying in and then not be able to find them once that flock is gone. You don't want to be that guy. Also, you don't want to spend all of your time looking for your doves because that's time away from bagging your limit. And the third rookie dove hunting mistake is not knowing the difference between a dove and any other bird that might come flying through the field. Not only is it embarrassing and a waste of ammo to start shooting at birds that aren't doves, but it is also illegal. Doves tend to have a distinct flight pattern. They tend to fly straight from point A to point B. They don't flap their wings a whole lot. Other birds will zig and zag and flutter around, and they will constantly flap their wings. Another way to tell doves from other birds, other than the dove's size, is the white border along their tail feathers. It forms kind of a distinct V that they'll fan out when they're about to land. Take the time to identify that bird, confirm it's a dove before you pull that trigger. Your effective range is 30, maybe 40 yards depending on the shotgun and the shells you use, so it's going to get close enough that you should be able to reliably tell. Now, hunting or shooting non-game birds will get you fines, loss of hunting privileges, and even confiscation of your shotgun. And just because you can't see conservation agents driving around or sitting there with you, assume they're there. Act like they're just watching over your shoulder the whole time. And the fourth rookie dove hunting mistake is not having at least one motorized decoy. Having decoys will give doves the confidence to come in and land and start to feed, or at the very least, come in close enough to give you an effective shot. It's the same concept as duck hunting. It's all about drawing in birds, giving them the confidence to land or feed for a while, and motorized decoys do this much better than stationary ones. The flashing white wings will draw in more doves that may not have come your way. Now, I'm not saying that you absolutely have to have motorized decoys to have success, or that you even have to have decoys at all. All I'm saying is that motorized decoys will help you stack the odds more in your favor to bring more doves into range. So that was 4 rookie dove hunting mistakes. If you have any more mistakes that you'd like to share, make sure you leave those down in the comments below. And actually I just thought of another rookie mistake. Make sure that you pick up your shells. Hit that like button if you like this video, share it if you found it helpful, and make sure that you are subscribed so you can stay informed.